But Tony Romo says left tackle Tyler Smith, left guard Bass, center Beebe, right guard Zach, right tackle Guyton is what he wants to see.
I don't hate that, man, because Terrence Steele sucks. Terrence Steele's awful. He has not looked good, and I keep waiting for him to kind of turn that corner. But granted, they have played, the Cowboys offensive line has played against some fucking dogs this season already. You've had what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
TJ Watt. Then you had the guys in Baltimore. Like, these played against some very good defensive linemen. So.
Yeah, and you have the offensive line or the defensive line from the Giants isn't something to like not.
No, Thibodeau's good.
Yep.
Thibodeau.
Well,
Brian Burns.
Speaking of the line, let's have a look at this. Cowboys offense versus the Lions defense matchup. Now, what's the biggest thing that stands out to you?
Go right at period blood guy.
Period blood guy Houston. He is super dehydrated. That's a bad color for your urine.
Going against his other
he's
matching dehydrated Guyton.
Yeah, but him and Guyton have been drinking, it looks like.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know that Hutchinson's going to be glued to that side, but he's the number one ranked edge rusher right now on PFF. So that's what we're coming into. Three dogs.
He is good, man. You watch him, he's crazy off the ball. He doesn't stop. You always hear that, I just want a guy with a motor, especially from Detroit City. This guy's got a motor. Hutchinson's going to be someone that's going to be wreaking havoc on Dak Prescott in the offensive line all night.
Well, that side of the ball is fairly similar to what it was last year. So I don't know what maybe we can even go do it Back to the Future and see what Hutchinson pulled on us last year. Once we get through this, just to kind of go do a tale of the tape.
What, Dallas Cowboys
versus Detroit Lions 2023. And just see what Aidan Hutchinson's stat line is.
That was the game where the penalty at the end of the game and everyone was freaking out.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah. So Hutchinson had 5 total tackles, 5 solo tackles, 3 sacks, 4 tackles for a loss, and 5 quarterback hits.
They had 3 sacks last year.
Yeah. But Cowboys still won 20-19.
That's right, you little bitches.
Read out CeeDee stat line there.
CeeDee stat line, well, that's fumbles. 13 receptions, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, along a 9. That was the 92-yard pass game.
Right.
But then here's the shitty thing. Underneath CeeDee Lamb, the next best was Brandin Cooks, 5 for 60. Jake Ferguson, 4 for 33.
Yeah, but if you're number one at 220, I don't.
You're number one. You could get 220 for that. Fergie will have more receptions, and then those 5 can go to Tolbert and Turpin.
Well, looking at this matchup though of the guys that we got on the screen that people are looking at here, what's something that sticks out to you? Obviously, the Houston Guyton, because they're dehydrated. But besides that, what's something that sticks out to you guys?
Well,
CeeDee Lamb being the 53rd ranked PFF wide receiver is kind of something that's shocking to me.
I'll go across the line here, but just in the line here, just in the Detroit defensive line versus Cowboys offensive line, it seems a lot better than what I thought it would be. With Smith and Martin just being anchors, Steele actually has not a terrible rating. He's just very average, but I guess we're looking for better than average. And Guyton and Beebe, of course, rookies. You're not really looking too much. You would hope because they're starters that they would be performing better than that on at least the PFF scale.
Yeah.
But the eye test gives you a lot. It's been a lot better, I think, just watching the game. And that doesn't mean that they're not failing at their duties. But personally, I feel like it seems like Dak has had the time to throw the ball. Where sometimes, last year, and maybe we'll experience it this game and later on, but it feels more or less that line is giving him the time to get the ball out.
Well, we had the big fella in Studes against the Steelers, and he kept saying, chip TJ Watt. And it didn't really seem like they had a plan to minimize TJ Watt. And you got to remember, the only reason the Cowboys started to pull ahead was because Herbig got hurt. Prior to that, the Cowboys offense couldn't do shit. Then Herbig got injured. Luckily, the Lions only have Hutchinson. They don't have that second dude, defensive end, that's going to wreak havoc. So I would like to see the Cowboys scheme up some chip blocks, put Zeke Elliott in there to give Hutchinson some hits, get Ferguson to stay in there for a second, or have Schoonmaker, who's a bigger body, chip Hutchinson maybe. So I'd like to see them.
Scooney did lay out TJ Watt last
That's what
game.
I mean. I'd like to see a little bit more of that.
But you know what? I think because TJ Watt was such a force, I don't think we saw, like, I do think they did have a decent amount of chip and pass protection on TJ Watt specifically. I just think he's that guy.
But every play though, on the plays that he made when he forced the fumble, he just burned past Terrence Steele. I'm saying, like, if you should put someone almost every single play to help block these premier defensive ends. I don't care if Ferguson gets taken out of the play for the first 2 or 3 seconds. You should be able to design something where he chip blocks Hutchinson and still can get out on a route pattern.
Or get Lepke back there.
Or get Lepke out there to fucking block. Or just keep... There was times where TJ Watt was running free to hit Dak Prescott and Zeke's out doing a run into the flat. I'd rather Zeke just stay in there and block.
Yeah, don't have him there to run under the flat.
Another big thing that I'm kind of seeing here is Terrion Arnold, number 0 for the Lions, a 47 ranked, 98th of 101 cornerbacks. That looks like something that could be exposed. And their 2 starting cornerbacks, not the greatest, according to PFF. At least their nickel guys holding it down a little bit though.
And when I'm looking at this strictly based off of hydration levels on the PFF hydration level chart, I'm running the ball towards Houston and away from Hutchinson. I'm finding a way to get Tolbert open. I'm stunting them. I'm stunting them with Fergie. I'm stunting him with Fergie. I'm sending him, and then I'm sending Fergie out on a late route. I'm looking downfield. If he's not there, I'm pitching it to Ferguson, and then I'm just letting Lamb do what he's got to do. Lamb is now. It's past the expiration date of, okay, time to play some football, right? Like, I think we can all agree. I think we gave him a one mulligan game, but he's had 5 now.
But they stopped throwing to him. Like, they threw to him at the start of the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then they went away from him till the very...
I just can't see... Man,
I don't understand. He should be getting wrong. He should be getting 3 receptions a fucking quarter.
At least.
He only had 9 total targets on the last game.
Yeah, and I think 3...
most of them came in, like, the first half.
Yeah, like almost all of them.
Yeah,
I'd say 85 to 90%.
But that's been 2 games in a row now where they've
kind of
gone
disappeared.
Heavy in the first half or compare it, like... His throws were heavy to him in the first half, and in the second half,
he went on that crazy run last year, CeeDee Lamb I'm talking about, where he had 10 to 15 targets and even close to 10 receptions for 6-7 games in a row. So maybe it starts Sunday.
Well, this is why you also saw CeeDee Lamb say to Dak, jump ball. Like they all know, like Dak's probably like, I'm not going to throw to you. Double coverage.
But he wasn't on that play.
On that play, he wasn't. But I'm just saying in general, with CeeDee Lamb is going to be the number 1 target for their DBs and their safeties to make sure they protect. And that's where you have to have these other receivers come in and have routes that are actually going to clear and open up, or design those just as similar as you're going to design plays for taking out Aidan Hutchinson. You need to design these plays to get CeeDee Lamb the ball, that frequency that we're wanting. Right?
So look at this. He had his first 5 games last season.
He had one
game with over 10.
And then, well, he had 1 game with over 10, and then he had 2 games where he was over 100 yards, but he caught 7 out of 7 balls, which is, that's pretty awesome. But then his next 3 games, he really went to town.
Scroll up a bit too. Go start from Sunday the 10:29. Like, look at this. Like, look at his targets.
Yeah.
From Sunday, from October 10th, 29th, 14, 16, 14, 9, 9, 17, 10, 10, 10, 17, 13. Those are the targets you want to see for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, and those 2 games where he only got 9 targets, one was versus Carolina, the Cowboys were 133-10, and one was against Washington, the Cowboys won 45-10. So
Beatdowns.
I think it was just like,
yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it.
Probably didn't even play the fourth quarter in those games.
Right, exactly. But yeah, man, that's kind of the tail of the tape. CeeDee needs to get, I say 12 targets, but from this, you could say 10, at least 10 targets.
And he can still make shit happen.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm running the ball to Houston away from Hutchinson, and I'm passing I'm looking deep, and if it's not there, then I'm dishing it off to Ferguson, and I just rinse and repeat that. Or Rico Dowdle or whoever's in the backfield.
What's Rico's ranking?
Rico actually has a good one, 72.2,
Nice, okay.
25th ranked. So he's finally breached.
Get him the rock.
Finally, yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about at this point right now. The dust should be settled on who is the better player. We shouldn't be having the question marks now. It's like, well,
which we all called that at the start of the year. We wanted Rico to get his chance with the ball, and we even last year with Tony Pollard in the mix. If he can't do it, anyone can. we wanted Rico to get more touches even last season. It feels like we're always in this perpetual cycle where we want a certain running back to get more carries. This is Rico's chance. Let the guy run. Let Dowdle. Let him Dowdle.
Let him Dowdle.